Hey guys, today we're going to revisit a topic I already dealt with, but it deserves revisiting. So let's fire it up and let's talk about DAWs. I've been getting messages from you guys asking me what do I use and what DAW do I feel is the best. And the way to answer that is there is no way to answer that, because it all depends on your needs. It depends on what you do. If you're a songwriter, your needs might be different from a mixdown engineer or a beat maker. So let's dive into what is a DAW. The acronym DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation. There are two types. There is the hardware version and there's the software version. Today we're going to be discussing software DAWs. On Wikipedia, DAWs have been defined as a software that's going to allow you to multi-track record audio, edit that audio, mix that audio. You also should be able to record and edit MIDI, and you should be able to do automation. And that's the basic layout of a DAW. Now, all the bells and the whistles and the extra features is a whole nother thing, and that's what's going to attract a person to a specific DAW, and that's all based on personal preference. So I don't want to get too deep into all that. I just want to talk about the basics, what it does, and what you need. So for me personally, I use 4 different DAWs. 2 of them I use more just for building beats, composing music, things of that nature. And the other 2 I use more for recording audio, recording vocals, recording live instruments, things of that nature, and also mix downs, because that's just the way I like to use them. That's how it has worked for me. So once again, it's just hard to sit down and choose and say one is better than the other. Some of them have their strong points, some of them have their weak points, and you try to pick the lesser of 2 evils. There is one feature though that I feel that you should pay attention to and you should look for when trying to choose a DAW, and that is the ability to export an OMF file. Now, OMF stands for Open Media Format. And what an OMF file is going to help you do, it's going to help you transfer your session from one DAW to another DAW very easily. So, for example, let's say you did a session in your home studio in Logic Pro, and now you want to take it to a multi-million-dollar studio so they can use all their hardware gear to mix it down. That's where you would use an OMF file. You would use that feature to export the session to an OMF file. And what's happening is it's going to grab all the pertinent audio clips for that session, and it's going to create this one solid file with everything in it. And now when you import that into Pro Tools, it'll open up the whole session and all the audio clips will be in the right place. And it'll be just as how you arranged it. Now, one thing you must realize is that it does not retain plugin information, because the plugin information that's in Logic might be different from what's in Pro Tools, because you might be using native plugins that only come in Logic. So that's not in there. It's just going to be the clip data. And that's like the hardest part anyway. You want to make sure that when you open the session in another DAW, that all the audio clips are in the right place. And then you can start reinserting your plugins as you choose. Now, another thing when you're choosing a DAW, I would say try to hit the mid-range level of DAWs, or if you can, hit the high-end professional ones. If you go too low end, you might end up with file format issues as far as it not accepting certain file formats. You'll be limited, and also plugin formats. And that's a big deal, because that can definitely stunt your development and how good your music sounds if you can't use certain plugins, certain higher end plugins. So make sure that you reach for like a mid-level or a high-end level DAW that can accept a lot of different formats of audio and a lot of the current high-end formats of plugins. So once again, the OMF feature is great because it is good for you if you're serious about collaborating with other producers, other singers, songwriters, other studios. You can easily move the session around no matter what other people are using. You can move your session around from studio to studio, person to person, and be productive. That's it for today's discussion, guys. Thank you for checking out this video. And as always, you can go to the download page of my website, and there is free content for you guys to enjoy. So that's about it, and you will see me in the next video.